Patuan Lineker Sinurat, Arie Satria. Next, Afina Zahra, me, Emira Hanin. Next, Kenezia Paulina Alfons, Mulita, and Zanuba.
Basically, after hearing the explanation about the sampling method that we've been explained by our members, and in this section we will try to explanation about our specimen that we've been found. There are 8 specimens that we have been found in sampling mode. So we were here to explain classification and characteristic of description the species. The first one is talk about costate merah, and it will be explained by Asma.
Location of owl found perched under the grass near the rice field in the teaching farm area, Jenderal Sudirman University, with specimen characteristic: wingspan about 40 mm, belly yellow, antenna black with red basalt, pulpy red on side and white below, terminal connection black, head white with red strip behind, thorax white, wings mostly white, forewings with red fascia along the ribs. There are dark spots in every corner of the cell, but some are absent. The hind wings with a black spot at the tip of the cell and a submarginal row of 4 to toward the anal angle are sometimes absent. Black larva with lateral tube of red disc, brown hair. A series of red subdorsal spots are present. Summit, first, third, fourth, and fifth with sublateral spot. And specimen classification: phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, ordo Lepidoptera, family Erebidae, subfamily Artinae, tribus Artini, subtribus Spilosomina, genus Aloa, and species Aloa lactinae.
Okay, and the next specimen, it will be talk about brush-footed butterfly, and it will be explained by Kenezia Paulina Alfons.
Now I'm gonna explain about my specimen called Chupa erymanthis or brush-footed butterfly. Chupa erymanthis have classification from kingdom Animalia, phylum Arthropoda, class Insecta, ordo Lepidoptera, family Nymphalidae, genus Chupa, and species Chupa erymanthis. In Chupa erymanthis, there was no significant difference between males and females. The upper side of the rustic is light brown, and its forewing display some look like slender, dark cellular markings with a broad and somewhat curved transfer yellow discal band from costa to vent. The band does not reach the termen but broaden posteriorly. The underside of the wing is much paler, and the discal band on the forewing is pale, and the black lumulus on the apical area are replaced by pale brownish ochre. The color and the pattern of this Chupaeri mantis is very depend on the habitat that it lives in. Chupaeri mantis is a forest-loving species and appears regularly but not in the great numbers in those habitats in the wet and the intermediate zones. It also appears in the verdant gardens in the vicinity of showers and a forest, and is it rarely seen in the hill country.
And then the third one is talk about butterfly, blue-crowed butterfly, or usually called kupu-kupu gagak biru, and it will be explained by me. Okay, so we will talk about Euplea midamus or kupu-kupu gagak biru, that it will be explained by me. So Euplea midamus is a form of butterfly called Euplea midamus. Has a big body, a dark black color, white dots on the forewings, and a band of spots that extends onto the hind wings. There are tiny white dots around the wing edges. Male of this butterfly have a pair of concealed yellow brushes that can be extended from the inside to the outside of the posterior end. Brightly colored and emitting a musky scent, the yellow brush is supposed to serve as an attach for female as a part of the mating. Euplea midabus, usually called crow butterfly, based on the literature that shows spotted blue crow. Euplea midabus rogenhoferi, it was only abundantly found at NDYS in the month of May and June 2012. It is also uncommon at NRF. So it is rare species. It is distributed from Nepal, Assam, Kerala. This species is protected under the Schedule 2 and Wildlife. And also there are a lot of types of Euplea, such as stem and where the blue color spotted. The basic characteristics of this butterfly is having some white dots around its wings, but in the female type it has a blue-like color on its wings. Because there's not any blue color on its wings, it concludes that Euplea is a male based on the specimen that have been found. Besides the morphological structure, the habit and use of this butterfly really means that it was truly helping the flower to do the pollination. Okay, so the third species will be talk about Vespa affinis, that it will be explained by Mulita.
We have three problem formulation. What is the scientific name of the specimen and the classification of the specimen? How to preserve and store the specimen? Can physical characteristics identify and differentiate the morphology of one specimen from another?
Vespa affinis belongs to the Vespidae family of the order Hymenoptera. The characteristic of this insect is yellowish stripe found in the abdominal segments number 1 and 2, while the number 3 and 4 segments behind it are black. This insect has a body length of 2.7 cm and a diameter of 4.5 cm. The head is brownish red to near black and has a number of red markings on the front.
The next one is talk about glass snail, and it will be explained by Patuan Lineker Sinurat.
Okay, next slide please. And now specimen Oxylus draponodi. Draponodi glass snail belong to the class Oxylus draponodi. This specimen characteristic big Oxylus draponodi is for the unique glass snail, which is called the broad body glass snail with a width of 11 until 16.5 mm. And specimen draponodi glass. This specimen draponodi glass. This specimen draponodi. This specimen height is 16.5 until 8 mm. Glass snail have a flat, heliform, yellow-brown zone with a hollow radial ground line. Umbilicus is quite open and its lips are simple. The shell is relatively flat, more opaque, and also larger than that of Oxylus celarius. Okay, next slide please. Okay, thank you, Arie Satria.
And then the next one is talk about Achatina fulica, or usually called bekicot, that it will be explained by Afina. Zahra.
Now I'm gonna explain about my specimen called Achatina fulica. Achatina fulica has a classification: Kingdom Animalia, Phylum Mollusca, Class Gastropoda, family Achatinidae, genus Achatina, and name of species Achatina fulica. Achatina fulica consists of two parts of the body, is shell and soft body. The shell is brown, pointed, has a pattern of stripes, solid conical. At the end of the shell spiral or coiled like a bolt or screw. The base of the shell hole is rounded and bilateral symmetrical. And the shell is consist into three parts. First, the conical apex, second, the conical axis or columella, and the last coil or body wall. The snail body consists of a head called caput and stomach called the body. On the head of the snail, there are tentacles and a mouth.
And the next one is talk about Pomacea canaliculata or siput murbai, and it will be explained by Zanuba Ulia Haura Selin.
The main characteristic of Pomacea canaliculata is that it has a round, twisted and conical shell with a peak position on the dorsal side and is yellowish in color. When still alive, the shell can reach 100 mm. The golden snail has the same morphology as the golden snail. The shell is round, silvered, golden yellow in color, about 1 cm in diameter, 2-3 cm in height, and weight about 4-2 grams. Golden snail reproduce ovipariously and produce egg. The female gold snail is able to lay 500 eggs a week with a mating period of 3 to 4 years. Gold snail lay eggs in the morning and evening and can breed.
And the last one is talk about lipan, and it will be explained by Emira Hanin.
Scolopendra subspinipes have classification of kingdom Animalia, phylum Arthropoda, class Chilopoda, order Scolopendromorpha, family Scolopendridae, genus Scolopendra, and species Scolopendra subspinipes. Scolopendra subspinipes, the centipede, is widespread across the tropical and subtropical region of Asia and has also been imported to numerous other nations and regions of the world. The taxonomic characteristics within the species exhibit a great deal of diversity. Scolopendra subspinipes have a long, flattened body with up to 27 segments and 21 pairs of legs. The first pair of legs serve as both claws and venom delivery system, and the animal uses them to launch at the prey.
Okay, so there are 8 specimens that will have been found and describe the morphological or the characteristic.